Hey everybody, welcome to episode 3 of my CrackPack modded Minecraft build series wherein we build a military base. So I've been working hard since last episode to kind of make up for how crap that episode was, considering things did not go our way. So I've been working hard, but there's still a lot of work to do, and I just wanted to bring you guys in on what I've been working on so far. So, first thing is exterior of the building, the power plant, and I really didn't like the flat roof, so I went and tore it all out and put in a new roof where it's all carpenter's slopes. And we're still needing to texture that. I put in a window here in the front. I'm using a stained white glass. I'm using panes in the blocks because I like the way it breaks it up. If I just use blocks or panes all the way across, then it would just been one big window, and I don't want that. So that's why we went with the two different types of glass there. We have our exterior staircase that's going to be going up. I'm going to take care of this guy just so he doesn't bug us. So this isn't done yet, of course. Just wanted to show you it partially done. We're going to have rails going up the whole thing like this, and what this is actually these are carpenter's blocks, and they have a glass texture put on them. It looks like this one right here, the modern iron fence, but it looks, I like the way it looks. It gives it a really like, I don't know, it just works great for what I want it to be. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually do this with these factory blocks. I like that blue one, and that's going to go all the way up to the top. So let's go inside. I got a couple doors here. This is a two-tone. I really like the two-tone. One is like some infernal block, and the other one is a futuristic. It's called a futuristic armor plating block. And so inside, I don't remember what we had last time we left, but you may see instantly that things in here are very different. So first of all, we have the catwalks going all the way around, the two turbines and the reactors. And then I have this railing that I like. We use some more. These are factory blocks, but I like the black and yellow. So let us go up and down, and to get on top of whatever machine we need to be on top of. I'm still working on the ceiling. I have big plans for what it's going to look like, but it's going to take a while, so I just was working on a little bit of it and was like, I don't like this, so that's a work in progress. Over here is going to be where like the command or the control room is. We're going to have like a window going across and a door. I might do something with the roof differently. And then, so that's the top floor. I have a couple of like escape hatches here. Go down. They're camouflaged. This is using carpenter's ladders and just some micro blocks with. It's all the same yellow stained clay. I just like the way it looks. Just kind of like it's painted. And then we're gonna go over here. So last we left, only one of the turbines is ready to go. This wasn't filled at all, and this turbine wasn't ready. So I filled up. All the turbines are completed. This thing took me quite a while to get all the jelly cryothium to fill that up. That's fun. It's icy and it makes this thing snowy all the time. What else have I been working on? Over here is going to be a staircase that goes outside and then back inside to get to the top floor. These doorways here are temporary because it's going to go in that way. But what we're going to have is 2 battery farms. So each of the turbines is going to put out roughly, at peak, it's going to do roughly a little over 10,000 RF per tick. So it's going to be these redstone energy conduits only take 10,000 maximum. So I'm using 2. Hopefully it does an equal amount through each one. And the idea is we're going to have a lot of space, but I want to have rows of 8, double rows of 8, and potentially double rows of double rows. And then on the ends, we're going to have tesseracts. So each one is going to go into a tesseract. We're going to have 4 tesseracts. And those will be hooked up to other tesseracts. I'm thinking in a room that's going to be on the other side of this wall. And that's going to be our transfer room. Or we're going to have a transfer room somewhere else. Actually, just thanks for making a ton of noise there, dog. And another room over here that we passed by. This is just a series of aqueous accumulators, and they pump into the reactor. It requires a water to get it going, and it also needs water to top it off because water gets lost over the process, so we got to have this in here keeping it running. None of this, the roof in here, none of this is done yet because I haven't figured out whether or not how high I'm going to go. There's actually just dirt between this floor and that floor, but so that's something we're going to be working on. I'm going to be working on in the meantime. The reactor is actually ready to go. It's ready to turn on, but I don't want to turn it on yet until I have more batteries. So we're going to do that later in this episode after I get more work done and come back. This may or may not be a door. Another thing I'm going to be working on is we're going to take the road up. As I've said, we're going to do a port here. This is going to be a door here. And then what I want to build is, in a lot of like nuclear power plants, you see a reactor is more like a capsule, like a cylinder that comes up, and then it'll have a round dome on top. And that's actually where like the reactor would be, I think. I don't know too much about nuclear power plants. But I was thinking of building something like that here just for looks. And then somewhere else we're going to have a cooling tower. It'll just be a long pillar up into the sky that's going to have a lot of things hanging off of it. But I have yet to design that or think about it. So those are a couple things that are just going to be decorative. The building out here that I'm talking about, though, I'm thinking maybe turning it into something. It could be a spawning room for an auto spawner. It might be something else, like we were just talking about doing a transfer room. I don't think it'll be big enough for that. But I'll have something here. It could just be a potential outbuilding for something in the future if I ever need to fill it with something. But yeah, so that's where we are right now. I need to get working on actually skinning the roof and working on the inside. But the building is actually coming around pretty great. I like it. I mean, I'm thinking maybe putting excuse me. Maybe putting another window or some series of windows or something in the front to kind of break it up a little bit. There's going to be stuff over here, so that won't be as barren. But I really like this building. It's just very industrial, so it's not going to be super fancy. It's a utilitarian building, but I'm trying to make it look as awesome as I can. One of the things is going to be the roof when it's done, and you're going to come in here and be like, oh, that's awesome looking. Hopefully. So, and all this railing and stuff isn't finished yet. I want to have things hanging. You'll see when I get to it. But I wanted to let you guys in on what I was working on right now. So I'm going to continue on working on this, and we're going to come back when I have more done, and maybe we'll do some work on camera. So until then, I'll see you, I guess, in a second. Okay guys, we're back. It's actually been about 4 days. I don't know if I've been working or hardly working, but let's take a look at what I've been doing. So first of all, the staircase outside is done. It was just a bunch of microblocking and these covers and just making it look like it was supported. Actually, there was a couple things I wanted to add here. So, of course, we can't do very many angles, so I had to go with this sort of thing. Let's go and actually, we'll don't look at that yet. First thing is I lowered the window here about 1 block because of what's going on the inside. And then up top, the roof is done. We're using this chiseled marble, and I need to put snow on it, but I really like the way it looks right now, so I haven't actually done that yet. I don't know if I'm going to do completely snowy like I do the buildings over there, or actually do it where it's just kind of patches of snow. So that's something I'm thinking about. Over here, I was going to do like a port. That's a nice error over there. But instead, I decided to do a loading dock. And we'll take a look at what's going on here. So first thing I want to point out is over here we have a different block than the asphalt. The asphalt lets you move faster, actually I think 40% faster. It's also over there by one of the Quonset huts, and that's because if you have this asphalt on one of these carpenter slopes and you try to go up them, you'll just get stuck. So you kind of need that deceleration of another block to get up there. So that's why I do this sort of thing. So coming over here to the loading dock, we got a nice staircase in there, and then here's the loading dock. You got your like rubber padding around the top, around the front, and your like warning pillars. If you ever looked at a loading dock, it might look something like this. Inside, you got the same doors as up the top. This does open, and then here's the roof isn't done yet because I haven't figured out yet what's going on. So there's a lot of things I want to talk about in here today, and I want to get done. I'm going to try to cut this episode off around 20 minutes. I feel like a lot of them are getting too long because there's just so much I've been doing. So we'll work from the top down, I guess. First thing you might notice is the roof is done. It took me so long to build this roof. I want to say it took me roughly 20 minutes on average to build a single row, because these are all micro blocks, all strips and a little bit larger bits, and there's 13 of them, and then the connectors. So this took me a few hours over a course of a few days to get this done, and I love the way it looks, and hopefully it kind of gets off that warehouse ceiling truss kind of look. And yeah, if it looks terrible and everyone hates it, too bad, because it's gonna stay, because I am not tearing this down. One thing I want to finish doing though is I want it to look like the catwalk here is being supported, like held up by the roof. And I just put this one up with a little corner there because I want it to look like it's pinned to the roof, kind of. I haven't done that over here because I was kind of just thinking about it. But that's something I got to work on next. Over here you can see we haven't done anything yet with the control room because I'm actually looking into some stuff there. Going down, we have just some more railing around the reactors and the turbines. Over here around the pipes we have pipe jackets. I use the futuristic armor texture, which I think looks awesome with these. I was thinking about texturing this, but I think it blends in well enough with the other ones, so I'm not going to do that. Over here we're still not done. I'm going to try to get to this today. I'm still working on building a number of energy cells. So what the idea is, this one is partially done. My ultimate goal is to have, these are rows of 8, so a row of 8 here, then it'll be a row of 8 here, and then double that. So each one will be 32, and then each side, each turbine will have 64 resident energy cells that it can feed into potentially. And then on the end here is going to be a tesseract. So each one of these cells will flow this way towards the end, towards the tesseract. And then we'll have 2 tesseracts from this room, or from this U-shaped room. And over here in the room that's going to be on the side of this wall, we're going to have, so those will be the alpha and the beta sort of power grids for the island. And they will feed into trees of other tesseracts that lead to other power sources on the rest of the island. So it'll just give us a good spread of power all over the place. But that's going to probably be in the next episode when we get working on that, or see it. Over here is going to be where a staircase is that goes to the top, comes out up top here. It's going to come out here, so we have an easier way to get upstairs without taking a ladder or going on the outside. So there's that, and we might, my plan is to dig that out here on camera. But what I wanted to do right now is get these things on. It's been like a week since they've been built, and I haven't been powering anything. So first of all, we don't need the flow. Let's get that out of the way. We don't need 2,000 millibuckets per second. We need roughly 890, I think is where I want to go. So we're going to go down to 890 right there, and then 890 over here. Sorry if my mic is kind of weird. My mic stand broke, so it's a little farther from my face than I like. Whoops. Control. There we go. 890, 890. So what we're going to do is turn on the reactor. Actually, we want to make sure that it is where we want it to be. Pretty sure it's 60%. Hopefully, we'll find out pretty quick if it's something else. It's either 60 or 40. So if it's not putting out what we need it to be, then we actually want to find out, because it'll take a little while for the turbines to get up and going. There's plenty of ingots in the chute, and then we can get this going. So what we're going to do is turn it on. It's going to generate steam. We're going to turn it off. This is going to fill up with water again. And while that's doing that, these should be full of steam as well. There we go. Now we have a good closed system where we're not having any water loss. What's great about the Tesseracts is there's no loss between the pipes. And now we can get this going. So it's going up, it's going up. It's going really hot because turbines aren't on. So once the turbines start going, they're pushing in and out. This will start declining, which is great. The turbines are going to come up to speed. This is going to take them a little while. Hopefully they're going to be putting out water. So it's going to take us a bit of time to make this go. Hopefully this is going to be dropping quickly, because as this drops, we're at a good fuel reactivity right now. We're at a really good, this is probably as good as we're going to get efficiency for the fuel. And then once these are up to speed and they get it to about 1800 RPM, they'll be putting out about 10,000 RF per tick each. And that one has water. Why is this one not putting out water? It might be we're just not seeing it, because we're not worried about. This one has too much steam, so we might have a problem. This one is steam input. No redstone control. It's receiving steam. We know it's receiving steam for one because we can see it in there and it's turning, but it's not seeming to put out water. So this is water. It's sending it, so that's fine. But why isn't it going? So we pop that. That's an output. We don't have to worry about that. So this should be working fine. So that should be working. If when these get up to speed and this starts, it's decreasing pretty quick. We shouldn't have a problem. It'll just take a little while to cool off, and then we'll be good, I think. Now that everything is going down. If this is still not going great, once these get up to like a pretty good speed, then well, I'll have to look and see what's going on with it. But we have plenty of steam right now to keep this going. We need 35 blades. We have 36, so that's all good. Yeah, this is going to be giving us a ton of power. And so one thing I want to do here is put like a way over this, but we'll get to it too. These are getting a ton of power. That one's full. These are filling up pretty great. One thing I wasn't sure of was whether or not the output on these turbines was going to be putting half and half between the two. I'm not really sure about that. Hopefully it does. Either way, it shouldn't matter in the long run, because if one of these lines fills up, then it should start going to the other one. So you can see it. You can't see it all filling up there, but what I could do is also probably hit these with a round robin, but it's not super important because they're all going that way. So we won't worry about that. So what I want to do is get this reactor up, get these things powered, and then I'll probably shut it down because there will really be no reason to waste power once this thing is going. Right now it is running really high casing heat, but we're not having huge fuel burn-up rate, which is great. I mean, we would prefer this lower. If we could drop this heat by I don't know, 1400 degrees, it'd be fantastic. I am not sure why it's not going down right. Oh, it says it's going down. It's just, maybe it's just going to be really slow about it. Well, it might have to run for an hour or so, and we'll see. Because I have an exact copy of this in Creative, and it's great. It doesn't have, my Creative one has a little different setup on the fluid on the inside because it flows, but this one is completely full, so that should work even better if anything. I mean, it's going down, sort of. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that, why it's so hot. But I wanted to get more work done here on this episode. You might have to push it to the next one because I really don't want these to go very long in them. I feel like 20-ish minutes is plenty. I guess I'll get working on this. If I can, maybe I'll just push right now into the next episode, and we'll get it up sooner than the next, like, I want to get this up this week, and hopefully another one, I mean, maybe sooner than that. But now we have our power plant running. We got the roof done. We're almost done with the inside here. You got to start working on the control room. The outside looks great. Like, sometimes I just come out here and I stare at this, and it's awesome. And we should talk about this over here before we get done with this episode. What I have here is an open blocks building guide, because I want to build a cylinder-ish, like a capsule-shaped building out here. I think I talked about it, and with a dome on top. And then I don't know yet what its purpose is going to be, but I just think it'll add to at least the look of the power plant area. And so that's something I want to work on. This building guide is just great because of the just the building. I mean, it just helps so much in building things like circles and domes and spheres and such that yeah, it's indispensable. And it's cheap. It's 8 pieces of glass and a torch. So yeah, that's that. We got a lot more work to do here, and I really don't want to take up any more time. So the last thing we're going to do is talk about something that I failed to mention really briefly, and that was how I got all this Enderium. It turns out, because before I had a problem, and if you get ferrous ore, and then you pulverize it, you have a 10% chance of getting shiny metal, which isn't great, because I pulverized stacks and stacks and stacks of ferrous ore, and I barely got any of that stuff. Well, what I found out later, or recently, was that this stuff, you induction smelt a cinnabar and a ferrous ore, and 100% of the time you get a shiny ingot, which you just pulverize again and get it into dust. So I was like, okay, how do I get cinnabars? Turns out you pulverize redstone ore, and 25% of the time, which is way more than 10%, you get a cinnabar. So out of a stack of redstone ores, I've gotten anywhere between like 6 and 12, potentially more, cinnabars. And so that saves me quite a bit of ferrous, and it makes it way easier to get shiny ingots and shiny powder, which is what is one of the main parts of making the Enderium, because you need it in this from the blend, and 1 gets you 4, and 4 is 4 ingots basically. And then you got a resin ender bucket, which is just melted down ender pearls. And now, recently, I built a ender grinder in the end, so I got it linked up over here. It just fills this. I got to be in the end to do it though. So, but it's really easy. Get a ton of ender pearls, and yeah, way easier to get blocks of Enderium, and way easier to make these guys, the resin energy cells, which costs 4. Individually costs 4 Enderium per. I mean, and that's outside a redstone cell, which is a diamond and really nothing, gold and silver. So what I've been doing was just putting the redstone energy cells in here and then replacing them once I got the Enderium. But right now I have so much that it's easier to just do that. And yeah, it's coming a lot quicker. So we're going to end it here. When we come back, it's probably going to be really different overall. The pack is actually getting a massive overhaul in the next day. The Mindcrackers just started putting up their season 2 with the pack updates. Some of the stuff in the CrackPack is going away. Industrial Craft is going away. All of this stuff is going away. If you've ever played old FTB or anything like that, Tekkit, this was the big thing. But now this is way out of date, and there's such better stuff. This is all going away. They're getting rid of Chicken Chunks, which is a chunk loader. I've actually been using them, so I'm kind of annoyed by that, but they're cheap, so there's no worries there. And then they're also getting rid of Ars Magica, which I don't use anyway, and actually it pisses me off because these stupid meteorites land on my island all the time and I have to fix the dirt. So I am actually happy about this going away. They're adding a bunch of mods. Witchery is a big one. They're adding a bunch of generation, Natura for generation. They're adding a mod called Mechanica, which has all kinds of stuff in it. I don't know if they're adding Project Red. I really hope they're adding Project Red because I really want some lights in this that are industrial looking, because it's super ridiculous that we have a pack that has all this technical stuff and we're still using torches and glowstone lamps, and that makes absolutely no sense to me. So if they don't add it, I'm gonna have to do some shimmying myself and get that put in for our server. But I've already gone 5 minutes over where I want it to be. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of the power plant so far. I mean, we're like 60, 70, maybe even 80% done with it. But everything that's left to do is little stuff. The control room will actually hopefully be functional. I'll show you that once we get to it. And yeah, I really like this build. It's just very slow going. It's sort of tedious, and I'm going to be happy when it's done, but I'm really enjoying building it, which is great. And I have so many things I want to do on this island. Sadly though, I feel like this is just holding me back because it's a power plant, because once I have the power going, we have a lot less worries about anything else. So I'm going to sit here and get some more work done on this, and I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching.